Hour of Power on 3AW. Thinking about property investing but don't know where to start? Search Invest by Metricon. They make property investing easy.
Isn't it great when you get a bit of good news and it just puts a spring in your step and you think, oh, life isn't so bad after all. And it came in the form, was it yesterday or the day before, it doesn't matter, of the Ross Trust coming to their senses, ditching the plans for a controversial quarry down at Arthur Seat. A tick away from the beautiful bay, the entrance to the peninsula. They wanted to dig a big hole in the beautiful forest, the natural bushlands of Arthur Seat. What a great result. Mark Fancett, president of the Save the Arthur Seat Group, joins us. Mark, good morning to you.
Good morning, Darren.
I guess it's a massive win for people power.
It really is. There's such excitement in the community, and coming on top of the win we had over the AGL gas plant, there's a real buzz about the community.
It sure is. Now, they've come to their senses, but when did the decision come as a surprise to you? It sort of happened very quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did. We've been fighting this for 8 years now, and we thought we had another 2 or 3 years to go on this. So it did come as a surprise, but there's been a huge amount of pressure put on the trust by the local community and by the wider Victorian community as well that really wanted to save Arthur Seat.
Yeah, it was getting a lot of momentum and a lot of groups throughout the community, including myself, and I had Stephen Curry in the studio a couple of weeks back, who was passionate about the quarry not going ahead. It was just growing and getting more momentum as it went along. Do you reckon that was one of the major reasons they've pulled the pin, or was there any other one reason where you think they've retreated from the process?
Well, I think the community outcry was huge, and it's not just the local community down here. It's the wider Melbourne community as well, because as you well know, that huge numbers of people come down from Melbourne to holiday here over the summer, and you know, as you said, it's the gateway to the peninsula, and we would have lost most of that bush up on Arthur Seat. So I think that's huge, but there's also been an outcry from the actual grant recipients of the trust that see the hypocrisy of an organisation that's purporting to be an environmental charity, but generating that money from destroying the environment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And what surprised me about this latest one is they've reared their ugly head before. I remember they wanted to put in a toxic waste dump, or aka tip, in that particular area. That was defeated, and they went and said, look, okay, game's over, we lost, we'll walk away and you won't hear from us again. But then again, they reared their ugly head and said we wanted a quarry now. So have we won the war, or just the battle, do you believe, when it comes to the Ross Trust?
Well, I must admit, we thought we'd won the war after the TIP campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
In 2013.
Yeah.
In 2017, we took them to VCAT and defeated them there. They tried to open the quarry, and now it's been stopped again. So we're hoping it's third strike and they're out. But what we'd really like to see now is that land is put into the possession of the state, and it's protected permanently, so that 5 years down the track we don't have to fight this sort of campaign again.
Yeah, look, following the Save the Arthur Seat group on Instagram, just the campaign was beautiful. They were just bush shots, Australian bush shots of koalas and rippling brooks and little waterfalls and habitats for creatures and flora and fauna that is as untouched by humans. And it was just mind-boggling that would have all been ripped out.
It is bizarre. I mean, certainly on the peninsula, there's very few large areas of bushland left. There's probably only Greens Bush, which is in the Mornington Peninsula National Park, and this area of bush on Arthur Seat. So to lose that would be just tragic.
Yeah. How important was it when I think that a doctor came out and spoke that the health effect to the local school, that was a good card to draw at that particular time, wasn't it? That sort of was...
Certainly there's been a lot of information coming out about the effect of silica dust on the health of workers in the industry, and there's more and more information coming out about the environmental effects of silica dust and PM 2.5 dust particles. So we had actually 122 doctors and some of them respiratory specialists come out and say, look, it's an unacceptable risk to have this next to basically 800 metres from a daycare centre and from a primary school.
Yeah.
So, yes, that was quite powerful.
It's been a fantastic campaign run by yourself. Where were you when the news came through, and how did you feel, and what did you do?
Well, I was actually sound asleep in bed and got a phone call from my father-in-law at 6 a.m. that he'd been listening to the 3AW news.
Oh, there you go.
It came through, so yes, it was a wonderful surprise and a wonderful Christmas present.
It'll give you more time on your hands, won't it, you and the group? Because you've certainly put the hours in. Is it sort of a bit of a void now for you, thinking, oh, what do we do now?
It is bizarre, really, because so much time has been put into this campaign. So, yes, it'll be interesting to see what we do with our time now. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Is there any process that where perhaps that land could be given to the state, given to the community just as bushland? What's the process for that to happen?
Yeah, well, certainly we noted that just a few weeks ago, Jeff Floyd, who is the former chair of Parks Victoria, submitted a report to the Ross Trust, and we've had a look at that, and that's looking at just that solution, that it be given back to the possession of the state and it be incorporated into state parks, and even looking at the possibility of having a sanctuary there where we could have predator-proof fencing and reintroduce some of the species we've lost on the peninsula, like the southern brown bandicoot and the spotted quoll. There's fantastic options, but as I said, we want it in state possession so that we can't 5 years down the track have another group of trustees come up with some crazy idea as a rubbish tip or a giant quarry.
Yeah. So
protect it for our children and our grandchildren.
Great work, all voluntary, Mark, for you and the team.
Yeah, most certainly, and none of us are activists. For most of us, this is the first time we've ever sort of run any sort of campaign like this. So it's all volunteer, and the communities come on board, donating their money, donating their time, putting up signs, buying stickers and badges and hats and all sorts of things to support us. So it's been a real community effort.
Yeah, and the quarry off stickers, I reckon they worked. Quarry off had a good ring to it. Why don't you just quarry off?
I must admit, I do get excited when I'm driving along somewhere and see another car with a quarry off sticker on.
Yeah, that's right. But rather than seeing a big hole in the ground on the side of a mountain in one of the beautiful pristine areas of this state, the size of 21 MCGs, it will remain the same. A common sense has prevailed. A win for the people. Mark, great work to you and the Save the Arthur's Seat group, and we can rest easy for the moment, if you know what I mean.
Yes, thank you very much, Darren, and appreciate your support. I know the Peninsula is very special to you as well, and we do appreciate your support.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks, Mark. That's Mark Fancett, who has looked after the campaign beautifully over the duration. Oh, look at the time. Up next, real estate at 29 to 10.